Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Hasham Ali Khan. So now I'm going to start the new topic in demand analysis. So in this video I'm going to explain you about the law of demand, assumptions to the law of demand, demand curve, and what are the exceptions to the law of demand. These are the topics I am going to cover up in this video. Last video I have explained you about the meaning of the term demand, determinants of demand, demand function, and what are the different types of demand like price demand, income demand, cross demand. These are the things I have already discussed in the last videos. So if you have not watched those videos, I suggest you to go to the playlist of my channel. Select the subject, business economics. Select the second unit, that is demand analysis. Be acquainted, clear in mind regarding the meaning of the term demand. Demand is a desire which is backed by ability to pay and willingness to pay the price. That is called demand. So the demand, there are a number of determinants which affects demand, and demand function, mathematical relationship between demand and determinants of demand. All these things I have explained in the last video. Now, before starting the law of demand, take a screenshot of the notes which I have written on the board. Then I'll explain about the law of demand, assumptions to the law of demand, and exceptions to the law of demand. Come on viewers. Now first of all, law of demand. The law of demand explains the consumer's behavior regarding the demand of the commodity depending on the variation in the price. Normally, the main determinant of demand is the price. The demand mainly depends on price. Apart from price, many other determinants are there. But the first and foremost factor which affects the demand is the price. And law of demand explains the consumer's behavior regarding the demanding of a commodity with the variation in its price. So here, consumer's behavior in demanding a commodity in relation to variation in price. As the price varies, how the consumer behave in demanding the commodity. And it expresses a functional relationship between two variables. This demand function will express the functional relationship between two variables. One variable is demand, the other variable is price. Demand depends on price. Then it states the inverse relationship. This demand function will explain that there is inverse relationship, opposite relationship between price and demand. Simple words, higher the price, lower will be the demand. Lower the price, higher will be the demand. This is called the inverse relationship between two variables, price and demand. Now I am coming. This is a general explanation of law of demand. Specifically, what is the statement of law of demand? The statement says, the law of demand states that other things remaining constant. Just now I told you the demand depends not only on price, but the income of the people, the prices of substitutes, then apart from that the taste, habits of the people. So all these are the other factors. The law of demand says other factors remaining constant. We assume that all other factors are remaining constant. Then other things remaining constant, the higher the price of the commodity, the lower is the demand. What the law of demand says? The higher is the price. The higher is the price of the commodity, the lower is the demand. The lower is the price of the commodity, higher is the demand. That's it. This is the law of demand. Simply we can say like this. The law of demand states that other things remaining constant. Higher the price, lower will be the demand. Lower the price, higher will be the demand. That is the law of demand. That's all. Now, assumptions. The law of demand already you understood. Now, on what basis this law of demand was made? What are the assumptions? That means this law of demand will not always be true. The law of demand may fail. It is based on some assumptions. What are the assumptions? First assumption, consumer taste, habits and preferences remaining constant. When we apply this law of demand, it states that the habit, the taste, the preferences of the consumer should not change. If continuously the consumer taste, habit, preferences are changing, then law of demand will also fail. The law of demand will not apply if there is a change in the taste, habits and preferences of the consumer. Secondly, the price of related goods remain unchanged. When we are applying this law of demand, we will make an assumption that other factors, other determinants are remaining constant. That means the income of the people is constant. The prices of related goods are constant. Then consumer does not expect any change in future prices. That means the consumer should not expect that in future the price of the commodity may change. If the consumer expects that future prices are changed, then the law of demand will fail. So here the law of demand will pass only if the consumer do not expect any change in the price in future. Next one, the climatic and weather conditions are constant. There should not be any natural changes like climatic change or weather changes. So if weather, climate, all these things are changed, then law of demand may also change. Then no change in government policies like taxation policy, fiscal policy, money supply. So assuming that the government policies are remaining constant, then only this law of demand will pass. Next one, no change in the fashions and latest trends. Normally what we see in the world is frequently there are changes in the fashions of the people, the trending of the people. So if you want to apply this law of demand, we should make an assumption there are no changes in the fashion. The people's fashion remaining same. Last one, the demographic factors like age, composition and gender composition remains constant. That means the market should not change. The age group, the gender group, all these in the market should be constant. So this law of demand will be proved only if these assumptions are satisfied. If these assumptions are not satisfied, then definitely law of demand will also fail. So what the law of demand says? Assuming other things remaining constant, higher the price, lower will be the demand. Lower the price, higher will be the demand. There is inverse relationship between price and demand. That's it. The next topic is explanation by function. Mathematically, the function between these two variables, price and demand. So the conventional law of demand is given by Qx is equal to function of Px. Qx means the quantity demanded of commodity X. X stands for commodity name. The quantity demanded of commodity X is function of price of commodity X. Price of commodity X. That means demand of X depends on the price of X. This is the mathematical relationship between quantity demanded and price. The next discussion is regarding demand curve under the law of demand. So how the demand curve will look like under the law of demand. Inverse relationship, how we can be able to show the curve. So diagrammatic presentation. So here a demand curve is a diagrammatic presentation of a demand schedule. Demand schedule means we express different prices and different quantities demanded. A schedule, a table is prepared. In one column we take all the prices of the commodity, second column we take all demand of that commodity. So if we observe, as the prices will decrease, the demand will increase. Or as the prices are increasing, demand is decreasing. That actual data we present in a table, that is called demand schedule. So when the demand schedule is diagrammatically drawn on a graph paper, it will be called demand curve. So demand curve is a diagrammatic presentation of demand schedule. Schedule consists of two columns, one column price, the other column demand. So relationship between price and quantity demanded. The demand curve has a negative slope or downward slope because there is inverse relationship. There is inverse relationship between price and demand. That's why the demand curve will slope down from left to right. It is called negative slope. It can be seen in the following figure of imaginary values in price and quantity demanded. To make you understand, we are making an imaginary demand schedule. In this imaginary demand schedule, we are taking few prices and few quantities demanded. Then we can be able to present this demand schedule in a graph paper. That graph paper will give you demand curve. Now, a demand curve is drawn by taking quantity of commodity on x-axis and price of the commodity on y-axis. The table below shows the demand curve for a demand schedule. So first, I am preparing a demand schedule. Then we convert this demand schedule into demand curve. So here imaginary demand schedule I am making. First column price. Randomly I have taken the price 5, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20. Arbitrarily, imaginary I have taken. So what I want to show when the price is increasing. When the price is increasing 5 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 20. So what will happen to the demand? Imaginary figures I am taking for demand. Demand is 15. When the price is 5, lowest price, 5 rupees is the lowest among all. When the price is 5, demand is 15. 15 kilogram. Here it is rupees. Price is in rupees and demand is in kilogram. When 5 rupees is the price, 15 kilogram is the quantity demanded. Suppose the price increased from 5 rupees to 8 rupees. So as the price increase, the demand should decrease. Here demand decreased from 15 to 14. Similarly, when price further increased from 8 rupees to 10 rupees, the price increased. So demand should decrease. So demand is decreasing from 14 to 12 kilogram. Further price increased from 10 rupees to 12 rupees. Further price increased. So demand decreased from 12 kilogram to 10 kilogram. 10 kilogram. Further price increased from 12 rupees to 15 rupees. Quantity decreased to 8 kilogram. Further price increased to 20 rupees. The demand has fallen down to 5 kilogram. So you can see, as the price is increasing, demand is decreasing. 15, 14, 12, 10, 8, 5. It is showing decrease. Here it is increased. 5, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20. This is called demand schedule. Now presenting this demand schedule in a graph. On graph paper, two axes, x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis I am taking quantity demanded. Y-axis I am taking the price of that commodity. Same commodity. The price for commodity X and quantity for commodity X. So this is the demand curve. Downward sloping from left to right. Now from this demand, quantity we can say 5, 10, 15, 20. Price 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, like that I have taken. Scale on x-axis and y-axis. Now, to make you understand, I have taken different pairs of quantity and price. Suppose the price is P1. The price is P1, so quantity is Q1. When price is P1, quantity is Q1. Suppose the price increased from P1 to P2. Then quantity decreased from Q1 to Q2. Earlier quantity was Q1, now quantity is Q2, decreased. Why? Because price is increased from P1 to P2. Further price increased from P2 to P3. P2 to P3. The quantity decreased to Q3. From Q2 it is coming to Q3. So you can see the price is increasing P1, P2, P3. The quantity is decreasing Q1, Q2, Q3. This is called demand curve. That's it. Now last topic in this video is regarding exceptions to the law of demand. Actually, law of demand is proved that in many cases we can see as the price is increasing, demand decreases. When the price decreases, demand is increasing. But there are few instances where when the price increases, demand will also increase. When the price decreases, demand will also come down. These are called the exceptions to the law of demand. Means the cases where the law of demand fails. The law of demand is not applied. So what are the exceptions? What are the cases? Only 3 cases I am explaining. Many cases are there. The 3 cases are given goods or given paradox. So this given goods was associated with an economist, Sir Robert Giffen. What he has seen is when the price of bread increases, the demand also increases. He has observed, Sir Robert Giffen, he observed that low paid wage earners. He observed the low paid wage earners, means poor workers. They are purchasing bread. When the price of bread increases, the demand of bread should decrease. But he observed that the price of bread is not decreasing. When the price of bread is increasing, the demand is also increasing. The wage earners are not leaving that bread. They are eating the bread. They are purchasing the bread even at a higher price. Why? Because he observed the consumers are reducing the consumption of meat. So Giffen has observed 2 commodities, bread and meat. What he observed, the workers are spending the same money on bread even if the price of bread is increasing. Why they are doing that? Why they are purchasing the bread even at a higher price? By reducing the consumption of meat. Because meat is not as essential as bread. Bread is very, very essential. So what he has observed, that even if the price of bread is increasing, the demand is also increasing. That's why it is called paradox. Paradox means something different, something complicated, something not usual. It is unusual. So that's why it is called Giffen paradox, something unusual. When the price of bread is increasing, the low paid wage workers are also consuming more bread. The demand for bread should come down, but it is not coming down. It is more. The other commodities, they are reducing the consumption and putting the money in bread, purchasing the bread. First. Second, prestigious goods. There are some goods called status symbols. Some rich people will put some status symbol to some goods. When the price of these goods increases, the demand will also increase. Because people will think that this is a status symbol. If we purchase these goods, we will be treated as a rich person. So they will consume more. Simple example, diamond, gold. So if the price of diamond, if the price of gold is increasing, the rich people will purchase more diamonds to show to the world that we can be able to afford to purchase the gold, to purchase the diamond even at a higher price. So this is the second exception for prestigious goods, the goods which are treated as a status symbol. For those goods, when the price increases, the demand will also increase. When the price decreases, demand will also decrease, not increase. These are called prestigious goods or status symbol goods. Example, diamond, gold, etc. Expectation of future prices. If the consumer assumes, expects that future prices are going to come down or increase, not come down, increase, so demand will also increase now. Example, if a person, speculator, if a speculator expects that in the next 3-4 months the price of gold is going to shoot up, it is going to increase. Right now it is less, but in future it is going to increase. So what will happen? The speculator will purchase more gold right now. It is not, the price of gold is not decreased. Still he is purchasing more gold because he expects that in future the price of gold is increasing. At that time I will sell away the gold and earn a huge profit. huge profit. So similar case for shares of a company. Shares of a company. Suppose if a speculator expects that the share price of XYZ company is going to increase in the next few months, he will buy more and more shares right now, expecting that after a few months when the price of share increases, I will sell away the shares and earn a huge profit. So this expectation of future prices is also one of the exception to the law of demand. That's so in this video, I have explained you in detail regarding what is law of demand. With explanation I have given. What are the assumptions to the law of demand? What is demand curve? Then lastly, what are the exceptions to the law of demand? Inshallah, we'll continue the next topic in the next video.